Hi, what's up YouTube? I hope all is well with you because things are fabulous with me. I've decided to make a quick video and I'm going to try to do it without editing. I'm trying to be a one-take Sally. I got a question on one of my old Biggest Loser videos, and it was a question about my casting experience with The Biggest Loser. And she wanted the question answered as soon as possible because she was going on a casting call. Unfortunately, I did not get the question until early this morning. So I apologize to Cookie because that was her name. I hope you did well on your casting call, even though I didn't answer your question. But I decided to go ahead and do this video anyways, just so that I can put out there my casting experience, and hopefully it will help you guys in doing your casting calls. Yeah, so let me go ahead and get started.
What have you done today to make you feel proud?
I started trying out for The Biggest Loser on season 7, which was a couples season. And what I had done was I had found a friend to try out with, and we did a video in which we literally sat on a couch for 20 minutes and talked, which is like a big no-no at Biggest Loser. And we sent in that video, and of course we didn't hear anything back. Then the next year I heard that they were casting for individuals, and so I decided to go. I remember waiting in line, and at 7 o'clock in the morning, and it was a long line. There was around 1,000 people there, and I remember having fun in line because I was talking to people around me. And I also remember that I felt like I was looking so fabulous. I'll actually show you what I was wearing right now. And I feel when it comes to dressing for a casting of The Biggest Loser that the key is to look as if you're going on a group blind date, but you're not expecting sex at the end of the night. In other words, you want to stand out, however, you don't want to look slutty. Just saying. But I felt like I had achieved that with my outfit, and I felt beautiful, and I just remember feeling confident in line. I had lined up at 7 o'clock in the morning, and I did not get into the building until probably maybe 1 o'clock, and I finally saw the casting director around 1:30. My casting director's name was Ian, and I just remember with him, he had the kindest eyes ever. And I felt that I could talk to him about anything. But the whole experience was really fast. They asked us our name, how much we weigh, where we're from, and why we want to be on the show. And I'll put a link down below, a video in which I talk about the origins of me gaining the weight. And that's basically what I talked about. Only I did it in like 30 seconds. And the rest of it is a complete blur. The only thing that I remember was at the end, he asked for our home DVDs and our pictures, and I remember thinking that I had forgot my picture like a bimbo, and I just felt so dumb, and I was beating myself up. So I went up to Ian and I said, "Ian, I did not bring a picture. Is that okay?" And I'll never forget what he said. He said, "Don't worry, I will remember you." What? And I felt at that point that I had it in the bag. And I left the casting call venue at 2 o'clock, and I decided that I was going to go to not Dave & Buster's, where did I go? I went to the Studio Movie Grill to watch a movie so I can wait for my call back for an individual interview. Just so you guys know, usually when you go to these casting calls, they will let you know at the end of the day whether or not you get a call back to see if they want you to come back for a sit-down interview, and then I guess they put a package together so they can pitch you to the producers and stuff. So on that day, I was waiting for my phone call, and I waited and I waited, and I did not hear anything. And I just remember being so crushed. And then the next day, around 6 o'clock, I received a phone call from a 310 number, and I was just like, oh my gosh, that has to be them because it was from California. And so I remember I answered the phone, and it was Holland. At the time, her name was Holland Strickland. She wasn't ready. She wasn't married yet. She wasn't married yet. Now she's married, and now she's Holland Weathers. But she was like, hi, we're from The Biggest Loser. And I just remember she asked if I was available on Wednesday for an interview at a hotel. And when I got off the phone, I screamed. I was so excited. I was like, oh my gosh, they want me. And so I remember for the sit-down interview, I went to Lane Bryant. I bought myself a new outfit, and then I went to the hotel, and we had to sit in the lobby and wait for them. Ian came to get me, and then when I was on my way to the hotel room, I remember Ian was just talking with me, and he was telling me how I remind him of an old classmate, which I was like, okay, thank you. And that's when we got to the hotel room, and I met Holland, and we sat down for an hour-long interview. I cannot remember a thing about that interview. All I remember is it lasted an hour, and Holland kept on reminding me that I couldn't just answer the questions like yes and no, that I had to repeat the question she said and then answer the question so that she can have just me on, I guess, the film and not her voice. But anyway, after it was over, I was told that I needed to turn in more pictures, that I needed to make a video about my home life, and on top of that, I had to fill out a whole bunch of paperwork. And I had a week to do it. And so I completed everything, and then I turned it in, and then I waited, and I waited, and I waited. And then a week later, not a week later, probably like 3 weeks later, I get an email from Holland, and she asks me for more pictures and more things. And then I waited again. I turned it in, and then I waited, and I waited, and I waited. And while I was waiting, I went on this website that is called Mcnutt.com. He is a past Biggest Loser contestant. And he has this section in which he talks about the casting experience. And a lot of people in the comment section, they just basically talk about their experiences and where they're at in the casting process. And let me tell you, it gets really addictive, and you can get sucked in very, very fast. And I personally love the site, and I do suggest it for people who are in the casting process. However, you got to be careful because, like I said before, you can get sucked in really fast. And I remember for the next maybe 2.5 months being on that site, thinking about what I would do when I was on the ranch. And then finally, because I couldn't take it anymore, I just had to know whether or not they were done with the casting process because I hadn't heard anything yet. And I understand the concept with The Biggest Loser and just shows in general. It's kind of a don't call us, we'll call you kind of attitude. And I knew that I could not contact them to get an update. But I just couldn't take it anymore, and I sent an email out to Holland, and I asked her if they were done with the process. Holland, being the lovely person that she is, replied back to me, and she told me that they had picked their finalists, and thank you for trying out, which she didn't have to do because she's a very busy lady. But she did it, and at that point, my Biggest Loser dreams were crushed, and I was just so sad for ever because I did not get to be on the ranch. And I tried out 2 other seasons afterwards, but I didn't get a call back. And I would like to try out this season. However, when they come to Dallas, I will not be in Dallas. I will be in Albuquerque at my high school friend's wedding. So I will not be there to, unfortunately, go to the casting call. I'll say this, the moral of the story when it comes to The Biggest Loser, is that yes, The Biggest Loser is wonderful and it can enhance your life, but please do not stop your life for The Biggest Loser. Don't do it. Even if you're far into the casting process and you're this close to getting on the show, don't let the show be about your life until you're actually on the show. Because we have to realize that thousands upon thousands of people try out for the show, and at the most 20 people get chosen, which means it's like a lottery pick to be on the show. So for the rest of us, we still have lives to live. We still have things that we have to do. And I just remember when I was in the process of trying to get onto the show that I basically had stopped everything. I wouldn't take future jobs and things like that because I kept on thinking, oh, well, I'm about to be on The Biggest Loser, so I don't need to do that. I don't need to do this. And the only person that lost in the end was me when I didn't get picked. And so I was there looking dumb-faced, and I missed a lot of opportunities because I was too busy waiting for The Biggest Loser. And I would say that if you want to try out, I suggest that you try out. And there's so many resources from people that actually made the show that you can just go ahead and see what they have to say and go off that. And hopefully you can get on the show. But like I said before, just don't make it your whole entire life. Make it just a little tiny part of your life. And then if you get on, then that's awesome. I will say that reason why I wanted to try it for Biggest Loser is because, well, first of all, of course I wanted to lose the weight, but also I thought it'd be a wonderful opportunity for me to jumpstart a lot of projects that I would like to complete that are weight loss related. But you also have to think, okay, the show may not happen for you. We need to think of a plan if the show doesn't happen. So like, what are we going to do if we can't get on The Biggest Loser? Because even if you have your goals and aspirations, you have to think of a different way to get there. Does that make sense? I don't know. Either way, for everyone that's trying out, good luck to you. Just make sure you have your backup plan if this doesn't work out, because it's not going to work out for most of us, but it will work out for some of you, and I'm happy for you if it does. But I don't know what else to say. I just want to say good luck to everybody. I wish I was there with you, and I will see you on the 15th season of The Biggest Loser. Next year, I'm going to recap it, and I'm going to recap it all the way through and not to leave it incomplete like I did with last season, season 14. That's something that I need to work on personally. It's just completing the things that I say I'm going to complete. So, yeah. So, that's it. I hope that everybody is doing everything that they need to do in order to have a happy and successful, healthy life. And I will talk to you guys later. Holla!